Hi, I'm Kelly Cook. I'm really excited to be joining Arts Alive again this year with my cooking class. So it was always my favorite day at Dapple Gray. Both of my daughters graduated from Dapple Gray and they're now in 7th and 9th grade. Thank you for joining my class. I wanted to do something really easy and fun, but most importantly, delicious. Because guess what? I think your mom and dad are really tired of cooking. So this is something that you can impress them with, and it's gonna be so delicious. I make this all the time and everybody always asks me for the recipe. And the best part is it requires no cooking, except the pasta. You have to cook the pasta. And it's vegan, so if you have picky eaters in your house, I've got you covered. Okay, so let's get started. And before you cook, you have to have everything in place. You have to make sure you have all the things that you need. And we're gonna learn a French word. It's called mise en place. So that means putting everything in place. And here's all the things that we're gonna need. Because if you don't have everything here, you're gonna spend a lot of time running around and it won't be as fun when you're cooking. So we're gonna need tomatoes, and you want really nice red, ripe tomatoes. And here's a trick. When you bring home tomatoes from the store, don't put it in the refrigerator. You want to leave it out so that it continues to ripen and get really sweet and really red, and that's how you make everything delicious. And we're gonna need some garlic. So the rule of thumb is for this recipe, 1 tomato per serving. So we're gonna do 2 servings. I'm gonna have 2 tomatoes, and you either need 1 really large garlic or 2 smaller garlic. And I like garlic. If you could adjust it, if people are sensitive to garlic, maybe you want to just do half of that. All right, so you also need sea salt, pepper, and olive oil. And with a recipe that's this simple, you want to do, you want higher quality ingredients. So this is a really good, inexpensive olive oil, but for this recipe, any olive oil will do. Okay, so, and the tomatoes, you want vine ripened or beef steak tomatoes. You don't want those ones that's kind of like greenish and yellowish. You want like these really good ripe ones. You also need pasta. I just like the regular spaghetti, but you could do any shape you want. And basil. So you want to, okay, we're going to get started. You want to have a bowl to put all your tomatoes in. And first, I like to have a little container to throw all these little things in so that everything is right here. We're going to wash the tomatoes and the knives. I like my super big, sharp knife, and this is kind of a scary knife because it's very, very sharp. So if that scares you, you could use a steak knife. So you don't want to use like a butter knife or something because tomatoes have that really tough skin. So you want to have something sharp, but this is little. I'm going to use this one just so that everybody can see. Okay, once you finish, you want to put everything in a bowl, and you want to preserve the juices. So you could either pick up your cutting board and then pour everything into the bowl. And then now we're gonna cut the garlic. So if you have a big knife, the easiest way to cut a garlic is to just smush it. And then the skin comes out. But I'll do it the other way too. If you have the little knife, you could cut the end off, and then it'll be easier to peel. And then you can peel it and you have a whole garlic. So if you have smelly fingers from garlic, if you wash it with something that's stainless steel, just like rub your hands on stainless steel, the smell will come off. All right, I'm having trouble with this one. Here we go. All right, so you could slice the garlic really small, really thinly, all the way across. And then we're gonna slice it in half again. And this, it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look any particular way, but you do want to cut it up really small so that when you're eating it, you're not biting into a giant chunk of garlic. Okay, and when you graduate to the big knife, you'll see how there's an advantage to having a big knife, is you could chop it really quickly. See how much quicker that was? And you could get it really nice and small. I'm just gonna get everything in here nice and small. And if you keep going over it, it gets smaller and smaller. Okay, we're gonna add this to our tomatoes. And that's it for the cutting part. Okay, once you have everything cut up, we're gonna add the salt. And okay, if you don't like measuring, I hate measuring, so I always just approximate. The little spoon is a teaspoon, and then these bigger spoons are a tablespoon. So here we need about half a teaspoon of sea salt for 2 tomatoes. That's 2 servings. So I'm gonna do half a teaspoon. And sprinkle of pepper. Let's just say 10 shakes. All right. And for the olive oil, we're gonna need 2 tablespoons. 1, 2, and just a little bit more for good measure. All right. Now remember, this is the only sauce that's gonna go in your pasta. So you can see already that the tomato juice is coming out, and the salt, when you add salt to anything that has liquid, it's gonna make all the juices come out, and that's what we want. So I like to do this an hour before we're gonna serve the pasta, because what it's doing is it's marinating the tomatoes, and that's the secret to this sauce, to making it delicious. If I eat it now, it's pretty good, but it'll get better with the marinating process. So that's it. That's it. This is our sauce. I mean, at the end, we're gonna add the basil, but you don't ever wanna cook basil. You want the basil to be super fresh. So now all you have to do is make the pasta. So to make the pasta, you wanna add salt. Now, I'm sure your mom has fancy sea salt and special salt. Don't use that for this. You could just use the regular Morton salt. So you wanna add enough salt where it's kind of like seawater. We're not gonna eat any of this. Put a lot of salt into here. And then that's it. When the water starts boiling, you put the pasta in there and you cook it per the directions of the packaging, but it's usually around 10 minutes. You want to push it down with some sort of spatula, or you could get one of these handy pasta cookers. Okay, when the pasta is done, you could use tongs, but if you have one of these, you want to put it right into your sauce. Oh, hold on, I want to show you the sauce. Can you see the sauce?
Yeah.
Can you see that the sauce now has so much water? It's so liquidy. We want that. All the salt made all the water come out of the tomatoes. So we want that. And so now we're gonna take the pasta, drain it a little bit, and we wanna put it in here hot. So this, in a way, is the cooking of the sauce without actually cooking. And the salty noodles will add flavor to this whole dish. Okay, we're gonna mix up the pasta really quickly, just toss them and I'm going to show you 2 ways to plate your pasta. Okay? Okay. You need to get a fork, grab like a bunch of noodle, and just start turning it. Turning, okay? And then you want to put it on your plate and continue to swirl it around. Okay? And that's not enough, so we're going to do it again. You're going to take this, twist, put it on top of here, and swirl the whole thing around. There you go. See, now we have this nice pile, and all the tomatoes fall into the bottom, so we're going to scoop it up and put it on top. This. Okay? Just put the tomato on top. And then you get your basil and you put it in there. Maybe one more. One more on the very top. Look how pretty that is. See? I think everybody will be happy that you serve that to them. They'll be so amazed. Okay, the second plating, this is my favorite thing to do when I cook. It's food art. Okay, so I got 2 peppercorns. You know what? I'm gonna do it like this so you guys can see. 2 peppercorns, and you could just get a piece of bread, any kind of piece of bread. And here I have, for the nose, a little piece of nut, or you could just find whatever you have. Do you remember the tomatoes, how it had the stem? I just pulled some of these little things off, and those are the eyebrows. And it's funnier if the eyebrows are totally different, because it's like this person is making a face. And then I had like the leftover tomatoes. You can make it frown. Or here we're gonna make it smile. There you go. And then now we're gonna take the pasta. We just want the pasta part. And she's gonna have crazy hair. Look at that crazy hair, so funny. Look at her crazy hair. This is quarantine hair. This is what everybody's hair looks like now. Look at that. All right. I mean, you could try to style her hair, but this is kind of funny. There we go. Okay. And with the tomatoes, hold on, let me get the tomato part. The tomatoes will be her clothes. She's wearing a red shirt. Or he. So, if you don't have peppercorns, you could use any, like beans. You want to use something that's edible though, because just in case you eat it. Although I'm not sure you want to eat a whole thing of peppercorn. All right. Here we go. Do you want more hair? Let's give her more hair. Whoa, she is crazy. Look at that. All right, we'll move the tomatoes. Or you could leave the tomatoes, because sometimes things get in your hair. And then I'm gonna get like a big piece of the basil. That'll be like her little thing in her hair. Look at that. Okay, that's it. We're done. I hope you had fun. This is the perfect time to learn how to cook during quarantine. I mean, there's lots of things that we could be doing, so hopefully you will make this for your family. And please let me know how you like it. You could comment on the YouTube page. Thank you.